The rabbit intern. It's something that's really difficult to make a video on, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've made this video 3 or 4 times in the past now, and none of them sort of have captured exactly what it is that I want to capture when I talk about the intern. Because I think that the intern itself, while not functional on the R1 just yet, which I think is coming in this 2.0 version, but while not functional here, it's still probably the biggest part of what I see the future looking like when it comes to AI systems like this. When I say AI systems like this, I don't mean large language models, which seems to be a lot of what people mix with AI. But this, to me, is something that can be sort of intelligent. I don't find a lot of LLMs to be intelligent per se, so much as they more have an understanding of how to respond to you. And they interpret your language very well, which is, they're great. And a lot of the R1 is just that, right? But the intern is something very different. There's not a lot of things out there that I can give instruction to where the output is a researched topic with a usable output. And I don't know how else to phrase that. I really don't. So in the past, the last 2 weeks or so, I've made this video maybe 2 times, and both times I don't think it's been good. So I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to do one with you now. I think this sort of tutorial style video that I've done in the past might serve better. My worry is that it's going to be, sort of dated quite quickly, like some of my other ones have been in the past. But I think really with something like this, it's the only way to go, because it is a system that's likely to change. It's a system that is so in depth that even one example isn't going to be enough to show you the power of the intern. That's my opinion. So let's do something together. I'm going to come up with something now. Let's use the intern to make it, and let's see how we go. This is it, the intern screen. So right at the top, when you've logged into the rabbit hole, you'll see the rabbitOS button. You click on that, it brings you here. Here we are. It's very, very simple. An input with potentially an attachment, and there's a few examples here which are useful. They sort of give a pretty broad understanding of the types of things you can ask, but I've seen some very intense things being made here. So I think that there is a lot more to be explored, but as a tutorial for this, I'm going to do something quite straightforward. I'm going to ask it to write me a document on my YouTube channel. Essentially, we're going to go here and we're going to say, I would like you to create a PDF document, that analyzes, excuse my Australian, analyzes the YouTube, let me capitalize it correctly just in case, YouTube channel angry.roads, and which videos of theirs perform the best. Please include, what can we say? Please include video topics, view counts, and thumbnail quality, right? So I'm asking a few things here, but I'm giving it some very specific instructions. So there's a few things that I'd like to see from it. Now, obviously, this is always going to be a work in progress. This is always in beta because it's quite new still. As an R1 holder, I should mention, I have 9 of these chats per day. Everybody else gets 3. I believe you can have 3 for free. And again, it's just a warning down here saying, mistakes are still possible, which is the case with all AI. So let's give it a go. And I'm going to show a couple things here that happen when you do push go that sort of indicate to me some of the cleverness and how you can sort of go about monitoring this situation, monitoring the work that it does, I should say. So we hit go. Now, it's going to ask potentially a couple questions. So it says, I can help to create a PDF document analyzing the channel. It's used American spelling. It's fine. I'll gather information on video topics, blah, blah, blah. Before proceeding, is there anything else you'd like me to include in this analysis, or is there any specific metrics or aspects I'm particularly interested in? And I think this is very great. It's waiting for my response. So it's now currently clarifying some of the information I've given it already to give me a better document, better output. I'm going to say, I think I could use some advice on how to grow the channel further by using the metrics, from the videos that are up and what has performed in the past. Let's try that. Giving it a second. So I'll include recommendations on how to grow the channel based on analyzing. So here we go. It's going to get started. Currently, it is doing plan generation, which I think is one of the key points about how the Intern works and what makes it work so well. So if you take a look here, it's figured out what it needs to research. So research and gather channel data from YouTube. It's going to then analyze the video content topics, download thumbnails, perform statistical analysis and identify performance patterns, generate growth recommendations based on data analysis, and compile a final PDF report with all findings and recommendations. Now, to me, that feels like it's understood exactly what it is that I've asked it to do. What you see here in the center is the actual task that it's doing to do this. So currently, it's running code to create directory structure for the Angry Roads project. It's researching, it's found my channel. I didn't give it the channel, I just gave it the name. It's done very well. I like to watch this thing work. I like to watch it work. Does it make me feel like a weird overlord of some kind? Yes. Is that what AI is probably for? 100%. The rabbit should be working for me, which I think it does. So this can take some time. So you might see the video jump a few times here. Depending on the complexity of your task, that can be anywhere. I've seen some things take 40 minutes sometimes to an hour, and some things will take 10-15 minutes, again depending on the complexity of the task. The trick here is don't close the browser, don't give up, and believe in yourself and your beautiful R1. Okay, it's done. Let's take a look and see what it's done. Now, I'm going to scroll up here a little bit to get us back to where we were, and we're going to talk about what's on the side here as well as what's happening in the center. So where we left off, I told you it was checking out the YouTube channel, and it did a few things. And here's the thing. Here's the issue with me making these videos, just to be totally clear and honest with you. I am by no means someone who can code. I don't understand half the things it's doing. And so when I tried to get into the nitty-gritty of these things, it just doesn't work. So I'm trying to come at this from exactly what you would want, I think, for a majority of us, which is how does the idiot come at some technology like this and use it for functional purpose? So it says it's running code to install Google, Pandas, and request libraries. It researched how to get YouTube data API keys in 2025. It ran a code to install Python libraries for web scraping YouTube. I have no idea where it installed that. It ran code to collect the data. It ran the code to scrape the YouTube channel and save the metadata. Then it did displays contents of channel statistics in a JSON file. It did a lot of steps. It then started looking at my YouTube titles. It started looking at the images of my YouTube thumbnails. It was researching the @AngryRoads YouTube social media presence, which is very minimal. And then it started to generate some files, and that's where things get a little interesting here. You can see a lot of pictures it's taken here. This is my favorite, which is the README, which we'll get to shortly. And then it created the PDF, which is somewhere down here. I think this is the Angry Roads analysis down here, this PDF. It did a lot in that period of time. I would say all up this took maybe about 15-20 minutes. So not too bad considering what it's produced. But now let's take a look at the result, which again is probably the most important part here. This is my Windows Explorer and me trying to hide majority of my stuff on the side over there, wherever it is. We'll talk about this another time. That was my first attempt at a video, which I failed miserably. But this is the zip file folder that it gave me. So inside here, there's a few different files and folders. If you take a look here, I can see this is the Python script or something. I'm not sure. I don't know where it installs these things. I don't know where it puts them. The main thing here is that these files exist and they're now here on my computer. So the interesting parts are here. First, in the data, it does these Excel spreadsheets, which has some information in it which is nonsense to me if I'm looking at it, to be honest. But I don't think you're supposed to read those. I think that is what it's used to generate the PDF. One of my favorite things is the README document, which let me just shift over real quick. It generates this README. It says, it gives you sort of an overview, a data collection method, data files, limitations, what it couldn't do, what would be the next steps, and obviously the accuracy of the information. I think it's a really nice way of bringing about sort of some of the information you'd be looking for when you're looking at a document like this that AI's created. What steps did you take? How did you do them? And what can I use this for? And then here we go to the main event here. In final, there's the analysis document itself. Let's take a look. This is it, right? It's got the date. It says prepared by AI analytics team, which is great. Angry.roads YouTube channel analysis. Let's take a quick look. It's got a table of contents. I just want you, again, I didn't do any of this, right? This is just, I prompted the intern and this is what it spits out. So, gives me an executive summary. The report represents a comprehensive analysis of the channel, blah, blah, blah. The channel is probably 630 plus and focuses on three main categories: technology reviews, SCP lore, music reactions. Based on the analysis of 12 videos, it found that the tech ones perform the best, which are these R1 videos. Channel overview. Look at these tables. Okay. Some of the information. We've got the TikTok. Yep. Convoluted factory, yes, that's correct. And here is the distribution, quite an even spread. Although it did look at the last 12 videos, which I would say there's more SCP stuff in this set than there would have been previously if I'd done this at a different time. That's fine. We analyzed the content to identify patterns of performance and blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at the tech one specifically. So technology review videos focus primarily on the Rabbit R1 device with 4 videos dedicated to the topic. There's all of them are that. These videos average X amount per view, blah, blah, blah. The most viewed one is the brand new memory feature, which is one of my most recent videos. It's got some thumbnail characteristics, so tend to have higher brightness, which they do. The SCP ones use darker ones, that's true. And wow, we've got a brightness to views calculator. So I would say, looking at this, the brightness has nothing to do with the amount of views that I get, because I've got one SCP video here and one multiple SCP videos down here. Doesn't really make a difference. Positive correlation between thumbnail brightness and content, suggesting that thumbnails, maybe it does, I don't know. The Rabbit R1 memory video is there, so that's fair. Okay, we've got section provides performance metrics, so we know that how many videos. The topic, which it's run over itself a little bit there, but that could be, no, okay. SCPs, yep, it's correct. The table shows the top performing videos based on view count. Here are some recommendations. So based on our analysis, we recommend the following strategies. Focus on technology content. Here I am doing it again. Increase the brightness of thumbnails, especially for the SCP videos. That's fair enough. So, conclusion, it shows potential for growth, particularly in technology view. By focusing on these high-performing, So that's great. So that in and of itself is a win in my books. Something very simple, but this is probably the most basic use of the intern that there is. What if I wanted to do something a little more fancy? What if I wanted to, I don't know, create a zombie screensaver? I have no idea if that's going to work, but let's give it a go. I don't know the limitations here, and that's the purpose. I'd like to explore it with you. So looking at the screen again, we're exactly where we were. I'm going to click New Chat, and we're going to start something new. Please help me create an 16-bit pixel art zombie screensaver for my Windows computer. Let's see what it can do with this. This is a really off the cuff. I came up with it now. Let's try. But it is more complex. Let's see what it does. Let's see what questions it is. It says, could you possibly specify how you'd like the screensaver to behave? For example, should the zombies move in a certain way? Specific number of animations. Could it show a house being surrounded by more and... No, that's not a house. Let's do a cabin being surrounded by more and more zombies until it's at a capacity of some kind where a man or a human will exit the cabin, shoot them all, re-enter the cabin, and the cycle starts again. Let's see what it does there. Again, making this up on the spot. Let's just try. Let's see how we go. Okay, sounds like a very cool concept. Just to clarify before I proceed, yes, pixel art is 16 with specific color palette, or do you have any preferences or themes? Screen resolution. So I'm going to try and answer these as we go. No, I think it's fine. If we say maximum number of zombies should be 10. Let's just give it some things. Sound effects included, please. Groans. I'll put this in brackets. Groans and, oh my goodness, groans and gunshots, door opening and closing sounds. Would really help if I could spell. Screen resolution, let's just make it 1080p. And Gothic pixel style. Let's see what it does. See if that's enough clarification for it. Okay, here it goes. Let's do it. I'll be right back with you once it's done. All right, it's done. That took a little bit longer, about half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. There's a lot of things that are downloaded. I'd like to quickly take a look up here. So, it did this Python thing again. Don't know what that is. Python pillow library tutorial. It did some research on that. It did some research on, the art style, etc. And then it started to generate some things. Now, here's what I'm looking for. I saw something here. Running code to create a directory for the zombie screensaver sound effects. It looked up zombie groans in the public domain, and it downloaded a few different wave files. It looks like zombie moans, etc., etc. Running code to generate wave sound effects for the screensaver, and then it generated a bunch of stuff, and I have no idea how to put a screensaver on. Let's just take a quick look and see what it generated. This is it, zombie screensaver. Now I'm gonna assume that the thing I want is inside this final folder, which is this. I don't know how to run it, so I'll just quickly open this notepad, readme, and see what it says. Screensavers are crazy hard to install, but I wanted to show you this. I found this in the files, digging around in some of the art that it's got there. This is something that it generated based on the different little pixel sprite arts that it made. I think it looks really cool. I wish I could see it working, and I wish I could show you. Maybe somebody could explain to me what I needed to do, but apparently it says I need to right click and install it. I've been trying, it's telling me it's not working. I'm not exactly sure, but this is very cool to me. Here's another thing that it did, which I think is really great. It downloaded a few of these audio files. So here's the zombie groan. Hopefully you heard that. That was intense. Here is a gunshot. Just a little quick. A door close. And a door open. I have no idea how that is door opening, but that's fine. There's a couple sprites. It's got the human walking animation. It's got the zombies. It's got all sorts of stuff. And again, if I could make it work better, I really would. I promise you I would. The point is, there is so much that you can do with this intern that really, your imagination is the limit. So what does all this mean for you? The R1 user, the average R1 user, right? You get the R1, you start using it, you find this cool thing, the intern, and you start using it. What I think it means is someone like me who doesn't have sort of coding experience or wants to really interact with AI in a way that's different from other AIs that we use nowadays, not just large language models, but something that's making a thing. The intern is that thing. I'm finding it very difficult to understand why I don't see more people talking about this more often. It's probably one of the most inventive uses of AI and AI capabilities that I've seen in a very long time. And you get 3 of them for free per day. Why would you not sign up now? I don't know. Maybe you're crazy. Maybe you don't like things. I don't know. I don't know how to help you. I know this video was a bit of a jumble. I know not everything worked, but I can see the building blocks of things working, and I hope that through time I'm going to be able to figure out some of these, wacky wild ideas like a screensaver that I come up with and figure out how it's supposed to work. Maybe I have to give it more context about my exact Windows install. Maybe it's a version issue. I don't know. But there are so many things I could have asked it to do. It could have been so much more specific that I'm sure that I could have made it work. So anyway, this video is the first in an exploration of series I imagine I'm going to do, showing what the R1 and the intern can do. If you have any ideas about what you've done with it, something you'd like to see me do if you don't have it yourself, you're not willing to sign up and try it for free. What are some of the cool things you've created? Do you have any websites you want to share with us? Because I've seen plenty of those get created. Let me know down in the comments below, and please do like, share, and subscribe. Every little bit helps get the channel word out there. As you could see by my little document, there's not enough of you. So until next time, let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes.